Check, 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 check. I don't know why that did not work. For whatever reason, the live I scheduled, it would not let me go into it. Let me get this thing on. Yo, yo. A little poll. Who's in the chat or who's watching? What's going on, y'all? Shoo. Had me a good nap. Had me a real good nap. Let me get this out of the way some. I can't do that guy.
help you learn the basics of industrial refrigeration. I just want to take a moment to thank our partner Danfoss for sponsoring this video. Danfoss is on a mission to spread as much knowledge about modern, environmentally friendly refrigerants as they can. This includes information about ammonia and how it works in their industrial refrigeration solutions. They have a collection of free ammonia e-lessons available now at Danfoss Learning. Just follow the link in the video description below to start your first course. So where are we going to find these types of systems? Industrial refrigeration applications are typically used in places like cold food storage, dairy processing, beverage production, ice rinks, and heavy industry, these sorts of places. These are large-scale cooling systems. We've previously covered other types of cooling systems for commercial buildings, supermarket CO2 systems, chillers, and chilled water schematics. Do check these out if you haven't already, links are in the video description below. I just want to very briefly touch on why we use ammonia as a refrigerant. Ammonia occurs naturally in the environment. It's available in abundant amounts. It has an ozone depletion rating of 0 and a global warming potential of less than 1. If we compare that to other common refrigerants such as R134A, this has a GWP of 1,430, and then R404A has a GWP of 3,922. You can see why ammonia is very beneficial to use. Ammonia is also cheap to produce and energy efficient to use. It has the capability to absorb large amounts of heat as it evaporates. That's a really important aspect for a refrigerant to be of use. It also means that pipes and components can be made thinner and smaller. Ammonia is toxic, however, and can also be flammable at certain concentrations. Most refrigerants are odorless, but ammonia gives off a very sour smell, so it's easily noticed if a leak occurs. If ammonia leaks, it will react with the carbon and water in the air to form ammonia bicarbonate, which is a harmless wash compound. Now, for the engineering stuff, let's look at some simplified typical refrigeration systems. Single stage. This is the simplest ammonia industrial refrigeration system other than a direct expansion type, so we're going to start here. We start off with a compressor. This is the heart of the system and is what pumps the ammonia refrigerant around the refrigeration system to provide the cooling. It pulls in the refrigerant that has collected all the unwanted heat from the evaporator and compresses this into a much smaller volume so that all that thermal energy is very tightly packed together, making the refrigerant very hot. The refrigerant is sucked into the compressor as a low pressure vapor and it leaves as a high pressure vapor. The high pressure refrigerant vapor exits the compressor and flows to the condenser. The condenser cools the refrigerant down by pulling the unwanted heat out of the refrigerant and discharging this heat into the ambient outside air. This is typically done by passing the hot refrigerant through the inside of some small tubes and using a fan to force the cooler ambient air across the outside of the tubes to cool it down and carry the heat away. Additionally, we'll often find a small pump spraying water over the pipes. Some of this will evaporate and help carry more heat away. The refrigerant is sealed inside the pipe and does not come into contact with the air or water. It is always separated, the two never meet or mix. Only the heat of the refrigerant passes through the pipe wall and is carried away by the air and water. As the heat is removed, the refrigerant condenses into a liquid. So it leaves the condenser as a high pressure liquid refrigerant and flows to the receiver. The receiver is a storage vessel for a reservoir of liquid refrigerant and holds any excess that's not in use. This allows it to maintain a minimum head pressure and also perform under varying cooling loads, providing a buffer. We'll likely find a line running between the receiver and the condenser inlet. This is just to provide pressure equalization and allows the liquid refrigerant to flow out of the condenser and into the receiver more easily. The refrigerant then flows to the expansion valve, which regulates the pressure and addition of liquid refrigerant into the evaporator circuit. From the expansion valve, the refrigerant flows into the liquid separator. The liquid flows to the bottom and is typically then sucked in by some refrigerant pumps. These pumps ensure correct circulation rates through the evaporators as the cooling load varies. The refrigerant is then pushed to the expansion valves of the evaporator, which regulate the flow of refrigerant into the cooling load. The cold refrigerant enters the evaporator and passes on the inside of some pipes inside the evaporator, and the fan blows the warm room air across the outside of these tubes. The cold refrigerant absorbs the heat, so the air leaves much cooler and thus provides cooling to the space. As the warm air passes across the evaporator pipes, it causes the ammonia to boil and evaporate as a part liquid, part vapor mixture. As it evaporates, it carries the heat away. Just like when water boils in a pan, steam rises from the pan and carries the heat away. Again, the refrigerant is sealed inside a pipe and it never comes into contact or mixes with the air. The two are always separated. The refrigerant leaves the evaporator as a liquid vapor mixture and heads back to the liquid separator. The refrigerant is liquid, falls down a
I don't know what's going on with this live.
HVAC tech needs to understand. Superheat versus subcooling. What are they? Why do they matter? And how do they help you diagnose a system? Let's start with superheat. Superheat is the temperature of a vapor refrigerant above its boiling point at a given pressure. In other words, it tells us how much heat the refrigerant has absorbed after it has completely boiled into a vapor in the evaporator. We measure superheat at the suction line just before the refrigerant enters the compressor. This helps us confirm that only vapor, not liquid, is entering the compressor, which is critical for protecting it from damage. Here is an example. If the boiling point at a certain pressure is 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4.4 degrees Celsius, and the actual line temperature is 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 12.8 degrees Celsius, then the superheat is 15 degrees Fahrenheit, 8.3 degrees Celsius. Now let's flip to subcooling. Subcooling is the temperature of a liquid refrigerant below its condensing point at a given pressure. It tells us how much the refrigerant has been cooled after it has fully condensed into a liquid in the condenser. Subcooling is measured at the liquid line just before the metering device. Proper subcooling ensures that only liquid, not flash gas, is entering the TXV or cap tube. As an example, if the saturation temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 37.8 degrees Celsius, and the line temp is 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32.2 degrees Celsius, then your subcooling is 10 degrees Fahrenheit or 5.6 degrees Celsius. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison. Superheat is measured on the low-pressure side, after the evaporator. Subcooling is measured on the high-pressure side, after the condenser. Superheat protects the compressor. Subcooling protects the metering device. Both help ensure your system is charged properly. So why are these so important? Too low superheat could mean liquid is getting to the compressor. Bad news. Too high superheat means the system is undercharged or the evaporator isn't getting enough refrigerant. This indicates refrigerant vaporized too early, reducing cooling capacity and efficiency. On the other side, too low subcooling can mean undercharging or flashing in the liquid line. Too high subcooling might point.
Can't listen to robot voice anymore. Yeah, I put it up earlier, but it wouldn't let me go into that live for some reason. I don't know. Says there's one person in here. Is there somebody in here? Or is this thing broken? Hey, yo. Maybe it is broken. Hey, somebody type something. What's up? What's going on? Hey, look. 6-7. Uh-oh, I got 3 votes. What up, y'all? What's happening with my company? They not letting me film? No, apparently one of the customers I do work for seen some of my YouTube videos and went to my company and said, hey, we don't want him showing our stores. And then my company started watching my videos and was like, take all your videos down or you're fired, basically. They felt that showing my customers equipment or whatever was unprofessional, I guess. Why? I don't know. Like, did you watch the videos? Did you read the comments? It is what it is. I can definitely go get another job at another company. That said, you got really good videos. You know, I thought I was professional. I never did anything crazy. But I'm union, so I don't have to worry about my benefits or anything like that. I just find another company in the union if I want to. If I go to another company, I'm gonna make sure that there's no issue with me recording. Neil says, but you didn't really badmouth the stores or equipment. No, I don't think so. I mean, I might have called some of the stuff that was old and junk, which if it's from the 80s, I mean, come on. Some of the stuff I was working on still running from the 60s. Sorry to hear what happened, man. Keep your head up and keep trucking. I learned a lot from your videos, and I work on the same type of equipment. And some of the types of towns. Yeah, there's a lot of old equipment out there. $787. What's up, man? You know, one of the biggest things I enjoyed about recording, and I wish some people could understand this, it actually makes you want to be a better technician because you're putting your work out there for people to criticize you. So you're more apt to holding yourself accountable, doing a better job, doing a more thorough job. My boss did tell me, I guess they watched a bunch of my videos, and it's like you were giving them good service, that's for sure. Like, I tried, man. I definitely tried. I need a haircut, y'all. My hair's getting long. At least I'm not going bald. Yeah, 100% for sure. I know what got me, though. I shouldn't have made a TikTok account because everybody kept pushing me to make a TikTok account. And I swear, the week after I made a TikTok account is when it happened. Never should have made a TikTok account because I'm pretty sure somebody seen my TikTok account and found my YouTube. And that's probably where it went south. If I had to guess. It was really weird. Because there were some comments from people I knew at some of the stores on my TikTok account. Dang it, Mark. Supermarket Refrigeration convinced me to make a TikTok. What up, Froggy? I just sitting here talking about what I'm going to do. I really want to make videos, man, to show them what I do. Might try to find me another company that'll agree to let me make videos. I don't know. Facebook. Is any of you guys in the Supermarket Refrigeration Tech page? I occasionally get on there. I used to get on there, but I know there was a bunch of stuff years ago about guys making content. Maybe get written permission from the stores that will let you make videos. Well, here's what's funny. So we have this one client. We do a lot of work for them. So the majority of my content, because they call us so much, was in that one company's stores. They're the ones that had an issue with it. All these other stores I work on, like I got several single owned grocery stores. Some of my videos, the owner was in there. They're totally fine with it. And that they're the ones like, come over, you can record over here anytime you want. They've offered to let me use their racks to do training videos. But they're not close to me. So it involved me taking my time after work to drive out there to make YouTube content. And I don't make any money from YouTube, so it's just not feasible. Plus, I got kids playing sports. Like, we had 2 cross-country meets today and a football game. I don't want to burn my time up on the weekend trying to, if I was in a situation where I was like making money off YouTube and it would pay for me to make videos, I'd probably do that, but not really. So dang, Friday, man. I had 3 leaking 12-foot evaporators in a store. And this wasn't one of the stores that was part of that group. It didn't want me recording, but my company doesn't want me recording, so couldn't show anything. But there was one young man in my comments that was having trouble fixing evaporators, and I got a real good method, which I can tell you all about the method. So the tubing that's in evaporators and condensers is a lot thinner than the piping in between the systems. So it's real fragile, A. And B, using an oxygen acetylene torch, you can fix it. But you got to have quite a bit more fuel than you do oxygen. And you want a real soft, real easy flame. Because once you get that tube hot, the oxygen acetylene torch will actually have so much pressure behind it, it'll blow holes in it really easy. So what I like to do, and you may not know this, MAP gas, the regular little MAP gas torches, and get you like a flux rod, like the blue or the orange flux rod that's used for dissimilar metals. Sand it really good wherever your leak is, and heat up the tube with that MAP gas, and just run that flux rod all over it. And normally it fixes it every time. Froggy. I mean, I never had Facebook, still don't. Social media is true. But HVAC community got me to come out from under the rock some in YouTube chats, and I tried IG. I need to make some posts on it. Well, HVAC community is where it's at. Any technical communities online, that's good. Part of social media. Yeah, I agree with that. Man, honestly, social media is good for the most part, but I feel like it's already our downfall with a lot of areas of just regular life. People suck. Seems like everybody's out to throw somebody under the bus sometimes. And that's what happened with me. Pretty sure. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Any of you guys work on anything fun last week? Everybody have a good week? I had a decent week. Wasn't too bad. Oh man. I got Fagined a little bit. I think it was Wednesday. I had a valve leaking by and I had to repair something. I got it done, but I got a little Fagine. Wasn't as bad as some of them. I did hear of another technician that I used to work with who went to another company. Evidently cut into a live line. It dumped a whole rack. He's a young man, really green. I don't know if he cut into a liquid line or a suction line or what, but I knew what you meant. Dang autocorrect. I don't know if this is true, but here's an old school tip that some of the old guys told me years ago, if you ever get phogened real bad, apparently that stuff will like sit in your lungs. They always told me to go like hang upside down as long as you could take it a few times and let that stuff kind of come out of your lungs. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've done it and it seems like it helped. Does any of you guys ever do startups? Yeah, try it. So I used to do a bunch of startups, new stores. I was talking to a young man the other day. He got rushed to do superheats on frozen cases at a store and was having a big issue getting the superheat dialed in. And after talking to him for a while, I found that he was making adjustments too soon in between. Just a tip for any of you guys that are messing with superheat. This is what I do. Normally, if I'm can y'all hear me okay? I don't know if you can hear me okay. I haven't been on here a while and I've been messing with some stuff on my interface. But anyway, I usually wait 20 minutes in between adjustments. If I make an adjustment, cool, thank you. If I make an adjustment on a valve, 15, 20 minutes, I don't even look at it and I come back. And these new refrigerants, all these blended refrigerants like 448, I think 448 is a 3 or 4 part blend. You're going to have those different gases boiling off at different points in the evaporator. So you'll have that glide where you'll see the superheat go up and down. And I always shoot for the middle. Like if my target is like 10 degrees, I'll let it swing down to 5 and up to 15 ballpark. But 20 minutes is, I'll touch a valve, go to another one, make an adjustment. Go to another one, make an adjustment. And then come back to that first one about 20 minutes later and check it. So yeah, anytime you're doing superheat, trying to dial something in or doing startups, give yourself a good bit of time in between. Don't rush it. Sweated in a new EPR valve this week. Took over an hour to get the superheat right. Was you going too quick? Oh, really? Was it a Sorit or an Orit valve? What was it? Those Orit valves that don't have, they just got the one Allen. Yeah, those can sometimes be tricky. Normally what I'll do with those, because see, you don't know what that valve was previous. If like it was a Sporlan valve, I'll turn it all the way in and then bring it out 1 full turn and a half. And then set my Orit to the pressure. 1 and 2. Song time sound good. What do you mean by that, Frog? Well, you want me to play a song? Nah, I ain't gonna get them things down. Got 6 votes on this poll. 67% says I should look for another job. I had put a community post up a month or 2 ago because I wanted to do some other content, and everybody was like, make a different channel, which I've thought about. But if I can find a company that will agree to let me make videos, I may take that route. Which I've all the time got companies trying to hire me. I've got a pretty good name in my area, so I had somebody Wednesday last week call me out of the blue, offering me a supervisor position, but I make really good money where I'm at doing what I'm doing right now, and it was a little bit less money to be a supervisor. Although it was remote work, working from home. But my wife was like, no, it's non-union, so it doesn't make sense. Pay for my benefits and all that. I'd rather stay union and keep my benefits. You've probably mentioned this in past videos, but how long have you been a tech? I tend to remember you stopped and then came back after a while. I first got into doing HVAC in 2004 and did it consistently until like 2008, I think. And then went and did something different. Mainly the company I was working for when I first got into it went under. Long story short, they had a terrible bookkeeper that was robbing them, and they got in some IRS trouble, and we were out at a job, and the boss said, wrap it up and come home. We ain't got no money. And long story short, the IRS came in like 2:30 in the morning and drained his bank account, so we had no capital to do any jobs. And this was back when I was young, so I did what I knew best. I went and got a job. I actually had a buddy that worked at AutoZone, and he's like, come work with us. I'll get you a job this week. So I went and did that for a few years. They started me as a regular employee, and then like a week later, they made me a manager. And what? Then I met my wife, and she convinced me to get back into it. At AutoZone. That's where I met my wife. She came in all greasy, covered in grease, and I'm like, can I take you on a date? She was like, no. And her mom said, you better go let that boy talk to you. But I got back into it in 2013. And then I got back into regular HVAC then. And then I went to work a few years later for the Pilot Corporation. Pilot Flying J, like they own truck stops and gas stations. That's when I really got into doing refrigeration, working on coolers and walk-ins. And I picked it up real easy. And then went over looking for a part at a company that did refrigeration, and went to the parts counter and asked him some questions. She was like, how do you like working for Pilot? And I was like, it's pretty good. And she was like, you want to come work for us? And I was like, sure. And I thought they were just kidding, but no, I got an interview. And the person that interviewed me was the service manager for the supermarket side. And he was actually interviewing me for the restaurant side, doing like, restaurant, all the restaurant stuff. He's like, no, I'm not going to let you go over there and die. I'm going to come teach you something. You're smart. You'll be able to learn. So I got to work under a guy that was doing refrigeration from the 80s on. And I guess I picked it up really quick. And that's kind of all she wrote. And then that company kind of got, COVID happened. And a lot of people were, how do I put this, going up in wages around us, other companies. And the company I was working for wasn't. We all went to them and was like, hey guys, price of living's going up. We need to make some more money. I ended up leaving there and got out of it for about a year. And then somebody gave me a call and they're like, hey, will you come do rack refrigeration for us? Let me catch up on some of these comments. G Bear, I've seen your message. I think you're right. Because I know one of the videos they were talking about the cleanliness of the store in the comments pretty heavily. Yeah, Froggy. I thought I had that pretty much nailed down. What's up, Dave? So long story short, I don't know if you've heard, my company, who knew I made videos and initially didn't have a problem with it, they gave me the ultimatum: take your content down or don't work here anymore. Yeah, Froggy, I think you're right. Sounds like your company said that because one customer didn't like it. Oh, really? Hey, Dave, do you mean vertical live streams? Oh, so Dave and Zane worked at the same company? That's what I was talking about earlier when I first started this thing. So when I was filming content, it made me be a better technician because I didn't want to put myself out there in a bad light. I feel like it held me accountable, you know? You want to do a better job. Definitely. A, because I didn't want to get roasted in the comments for cutting corners. And B, I wanted to, do a better job. Try to show things how they could be done. Froggy, somebody else told me to do that. Funny you say that, Dave. One of the guys that was here when I first came on got fired. He sat in his truck the whole day on a PM, never got out. He was in a similar situation. So, Dave, are you up in Canada too? I guess so. I think that's where Zane said he was. Toronto, that's a big, busy place up there, buddy. You shouldn't have a problem finding a job. I know that. I think y'all got a bunch of big refrigeration up there from what I've heard. Well, you know, I ain't going to try to brag on myself, but there's a couple companies I've worked for after I left. Well, one of them, they ain't even doing markets anymore. Sure ain't. I just want to go to Canada for one thing. Just one thing, and that's fishing. I hear there's so much good fishing up in Canada. I know some people that go every year. I don't know where they go, but they get a cabin somewhere up in Canada and go to this one spot, and they catch these, where am I at? Like huge pike and walleye and stuff, just like it ain't nothing. I did think about this because Johnson Controls, where I'm at, they need a chiller guy, and I've got a good amount of experience with chillers. Did The Office give you an exact reasons to stop the long format videos? Well, I didn't get any formal. It was just all verbal. Not an exact reason. They said what I was doing was unprofessional. Is kind of how they put it. Right. That's what I said. Froggy, I don't know. I'm assuming comfort, like buildings. We have guys here that work 3 hours a week. What? How do you even live on that? Oh, I got you. I got you. Did I bust my tail for everybody I work for? I try to do a good job, try to be profitable. I don't get it. They did make one comment. That I was riding around doing my own thing on their clock, making myself money. I'm like, you really think I'm making a bunch of money off of YouTube? You must not know how it works. I will say one thing. I dealt with some depression years ago because I lost my parents and all my grandparents in a short span of time. But Dude, it was like part of my soul left my body when they told me I had to delete my videos. I ain't been the same since. I really haven't. I've been walking around moping. I don't know why. I really enjoyed making videos and chatting with you guys. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And I consume a lot of YouTube content. And I was like, you know what? So here's where I was with the videos. I could have left them up, but my direct supervisor told me it would look good if I took the videos down because they were going to fire me. He's like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how you're going to recover from this because they're mad. I thought about doing a incognito channel and just not showing my face, and definitely not showing any cases. That was another thing because I was showing labels and cases, and they're like, they know where you're at. Self-employment. You know, I had my own residential company for a few years during COVID while we were still locked down and all that. And I didn't make any content back then, but we shut the business down. I could go do residential tomorrow. Like, that wouldn't be no thing. But to do what I'm doing now, the insurance you got to have is expensive. You know what's funny? I was looking at voice changers the other day. I was like, is there voice changers that I can use? I've seen apps on the iPhone, and they're still like analog ones that you could use. Or I thought about doing ASMR or whatever it is and just show the process, and then in the editing do the text on screen talking about what I'm doing. Has my motivation totally depleted since you got the news? Yeah. Voice changers don't work on hillbillies. You right, boy. Darth Vader voice request on first video. Froggy, I am your father. Dave said he's gained 10 pounds and been the laziest version of himself. You living up to that Union journeyman now, huh? Darth Vader with a twang. Drag your feet, sit around miserable. I don't know why it did me that way. I guess you're right. And one of the things I think about, dude, if I would have had YouTube and people showing how to do all this stuff back when I was like coming up, I could have been so much better, so much faster. And that's really why I want to do it. Try to give some of these young guys a leg up on the thing. Got neighbors somewhere else shooting guns. Maybe I should start a gun channel. I got a lot of guns. See, there's one right there. Learned about a lot of learned a lot about refrigeration on YouTube. I'm gonna have to go cry myself to sleep. It's terrible. So, Dave, are you the one that said, or somebody in here said I should try doing a different format of live streaming because I don't show up? Maybe that's fireworks. I don't show up in people's feeds like this when you're scrolling through the phone. Last time I did that, all I kept getting was like 6, 7, 6, 7. I feel like that's how this company I'm with now would see it. Yeah, I know when I was doing some live streams while I was working after hours on call, I would do vertical because I was on my phone. And I get a bunch of random people in there. I got you. We'll see, like here, I'm on my computer. I ain't worried about that. I'd rather talk to you guys. Use clickbait titles. Hillbilly's lost his marbles. He's going on a rampage about his company. They won't let him film refrigeration videos. So have you guys heard of the rage bait? I've seen like a plumber guy. He's probably a good plumber, but he does things like backwards and really messed up just to get like to rage bait people, and it gets him a ton of views. Maybe I'll do that. Just do things like totally wrong. Kind of like you see videos, people claiming to be mechanics and they've got like a claw hammer and a crescent wrench under the hood of a car. My buddy Adam, he said, you should just make videos sitting down and eating them weird meals you eat with, because one of my live streams, I was eating with a knife because I was just cutting stuff and eating with a knife. And people was like, you're going to cut yourself. But, he said, you should just eat with like vice grips and, just weird stuff. I thought about it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to fire me. I can go get another job. It's one thing about being a reefer tech. They need me more than I need them. Especially here. Like, we got a bunch of HVAC companies, but we don't have, like, for markets, supermarket refrigeration. There's like, so I live in a pretty big area, and there might be 4 companies here that do markets. They drive me all over the place working on grocery stores. Those ain't guns, they're fireworks. You're good. I was in North Carolina Wednesday. I'm in East Tennessee, right on the outskirts of Knoxville, but I go to North Carolina, I go to Kentucky, I go all the way over to west of Nashville, I go to North Alabama, North Georgia, all over the place. Sometimes I'll drive like 8 hours of my day will be driving and work for an hour or two. South Carolina. Boy, it's pretty over there. I've been through South Carolina a couple times. I did it back when I was doing some install stuff. We went to South Carolina. Charleston. Is that in South Carolina? I think. And did a Walmart. Brand new store. Well, is it brand new? I can't remember. It was so long ago. One of the coolest grocery stores I ever got to do on it. Well, I didn't do any install work. I did a startup, and the grand opening was in Raleigh, North Carolina, a place called Weaver Street Market, I think is what it was. Boy, that was a wild job. So the grocery store is in the bottom of this building, and then above the building, there's like 10 floors of apartments, condos, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. And the store had 2 protocol racks, Hussman protocols, and all Southern Case Art cases. Really nice store. But the condensers, buddy, up on the roof, and those chases they had going up, we had a dang leak on a drop leg, like halfway up in that chase. They just got a ladder. Had to carry the daggum torches up the ladder. And I thought about it later. I'm like, we probably should have lowered these down on a rope, but that was a nightmare. Fixing that leak off of a ladder. Stupid too. I didn't have no harness or anything. I'm like way up in the air. With my arm wrapped around the ladder, on one of the rungs, sitting here brazen. Cool store though. Do y'all have any Weaver Street markets in South Carolina? I know that was his first store, and he's built a few since. Some old retired scientist or something that wanted to have he called it a better grocery store. Pretty cool dude. He was real smart. No Weavers. Has any of you guys ever seen the YouTube channel Big Stack D, who does He's in Australia and he does metal melting. He melts like copper, aluminum, brass, zinc, takes apart like old industrial motors and all kinds of random stuff and melts it down. I've been saving all that stuff for years. Like I got a stockpile over by my garage. I bought one of those furnaces just to play around with it. It's pretty cool. I melted a bunch of copper here a while back. Got these big old 1 pound ingots of copper. Thought about making YouTube videos just showing that. It's pretty neat. All you need is some propane. What's that, Dave? Talk about my salary? That makes some people mad. Oh, really? I was actually talking about my salary today at one of the football games we was at. It was actually a teacher from the school talking to a parent, and they said, "What is it you do?" Because I'm on call and I drove my work truck, and one of the young men that just graduated last year was there at the game because his younger brother plays, and he's actually in trade school here for HVAC. And me and him were talking, and I was like, "Yeah, he's in trade school to do the same thing I'm doing, HVAC and refrigeration." And he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "There's pretty good money in that." I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to get him to go do the HVAC thing and then come work for me because we'll start him. I think he'll start at like 35 an hour." And he's like, 35 an hour? I'm like, "Yeah, it's base wage here out of my union for a journeyman. And if he goes and does the apprenticeship, he'll come out a journeyman." And he's like, $35 an hour? I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm in the wrong industry." I'm like, "It's kind of a niche thing, but maybe I should talk about my salary. Might be some people mad." Maybe I'll do that. Are you in the HVAC business? Want to make more money? Look into doing refrigeration. And you made $1,000 off that video? That's crazy. Yeah, I guess on the long format videos, see, I didn't really get into too much with that. I had a couple of shorts that went viral. There was one short that I made like $100 off of. It got up to like 600,000 something views. But all my long format videos, I think I had a couple that went over 10K. And see, my channel was just starting to compound because I had like 120 videos or so. And from the point I got monetized to where I was at, it seemed like it was snowballing and my revenue was starting to really grow. What did I make off the 10K videos? I don't know. because now my analytics won't show the breakdown because I took all the content down, but it wasn't a heck of a lot. I think my last check that was supposed to pay out was like $200 and something. Yeah, 200 and something bucks. But once that watch time starts adding up, see, I noticed that a couple of my videos, because I was playing with keeping people engaged, and like I had this one video that before I cut it down, it was like an hour and 20 minutes long. And I cut it down to like, I think it was like an 8-minute video, like really just showing the meat of what happened on that call. And I forget whatever they call it, like the people that stayed and watched through it, was really high. It was the best video performance that I'd had. And that video, it didn't go viral, but it seemed to make more money than a lot of the other videos that had way higher view count. Yeah, I really just started the YouTube thing. I think I posted my first long format because I'd posted a couple of shorts on weird stuff. Well, not weird stuff, but I think the first short video I posted was I was working on a Train Symbio, and the firmware was corrupted or something, and Train sent me a jump drive to upload new firmware, and I was having an issue. I had never done that, and I posted a short, and that was back in like January. And then I went to another store, and they had a hailstorm in one of the condensers. Dude, you couldn't even tell it was a condenser. It looked like somebody just stood up there and shot paintballs at it. And I didn't post another video until I think the beginning of July. And then I started posting long format videos. But between July, like, might have been May. After that first long format video, because I had, I think, like 20 subscribers when I posted my first long format video. But I had that first 1,000 within like 20 days. And then end of July, I got monetized. So I really only been monetized, what, 2 months? Yeah, RPM. The RPM was high on that one video. I wouldn't say I'm more skilled than anybody, man. We're all kind of good in our own ways. It's all about consistency. People love that here. Yeah, you're right. I've lost a bunch of subscribers here in the last week. Where am I down to now? Oh, 2.28. I was at 2.29. It ain't a lot. I've lost about 10 subscribers in the last couple of days. No big deal. So something I was thinking about doing, we built one of these at my other company that I work for. And we built it for the guys that were coming into service. But basically what we did, we took a 4x8 sheet of plywood and we screwed every possible control anything related to refrigeration on this one board and then wired it all up. So we had a single phase circuit and a 3-phase circuit. Had like your dual pressure control, high pressure control, low pressure control, thermostat, time delay, time clock, all that. And we'd have them leave the room. We'd create a problem and have them come in and diagnose it with their meter. I was thinking about making one of those here for at the studio and doing some training videos on that thing. Oh, and one of my good videos, I know you do a little bit different stuff than I do, but for some reason, for the younger guys, these mechanical time clocks that do defrost on like the single units in refrigeration, they trip people up and they're really simple. I did an overview of how they operate and how they work and how to troubleshoot them video. And that video did really good. I got a lot of good feedback on it too. Like there was a young man that had never seen my videos and was looking for how to fix one of these time clocks or troubleshoot it. Found my video and was like, man, this helped me so much. I was working on one of these and I couldn't find anything about this actual time clock. And helped him out. Yeah, real people. Ain't a lot of real people in this world, Dave. I remember watching the live you did a while back. You mentioned you bought a brand new iPhone for your content. I paid out of pocket for this mug and I got a 1 terabyte. How much was my phone, babe? $1,600 I paid for this dang phone. Just for YouTube videos, because my old phone, it's around here somewhere. I had it for years. And the battery was junk. And I used to fix phones, believe it or not. But these new iPhones, you can fix them. But once you crack that waterproof seal the first time, I don't care. Even if Apple repairs it, they are not going to be waterproof like they was from the factory. And I've killed a couple of phones in this line of work, going in and out of freezers, hot and cold, condensation, eat them up on the inside. So I was like, I don't want to crack this phone open. I can use it for like B-roll and stuff like that. But bought a brand new phone for that. Where's old Mark at? Need to send him a text and see if he wants to go live. What time is it? Oh, it's only 9:25. I didn't just buy the iPhone. I bought a $300 set of DJI mics. I bought a $200 and something DJI gimbal. I bought a chest mount, a hat mount. These dang things. I bought all kinds of stuff because I was trying to make good content for the boys. That head mount, though, that was the best thing I ever did. I still didn't make all the money back. I was like, babe, I need to get this. It'll, I can do better videos. And it'll pay itself back once it gets rolling. Womp, 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 womp. Although I did get compliments all the time, like Supermarket Refrigeration Mark. He complimented on one of my videos. I think it was one of those Zero Zone racks I was working on. Them DJI mics, once you get them set up just right, it was a little learning curve on how to get them dialed in just right. but they've got like a built-in like gate and compressor that you can adjust. I could make the rack, you could still hear the rack, but my voice came through really clear. That's the key to anybody that wants to show my age, record content around loud equipment. A good mic will go a long way. Oh, 100%. 100%. I know who it was too. He's probably on here because when I first started this live, I had one viewer for like 16 minutes before anybody came in, and I was asking, who's in here? Who's in here? No reply. I ain't on the clock. I better not say nothing. Dave, are you kidding me? Let's see. Can you explain how a convertible dual pressure control is wired? P70SA Johnson Controls. Oh no, let's go pull one of them things up. I appreciate you, Zane. I was just learning. What's up, Fantafupa? I think you should do what makes you happy at the end of the day. If you feel stable at the company you're right now, then maybe changing to a piece subscribers is the way to go. I mean, that's true. So this company I'm with now, when I came on, they're trying to get an office down in this area. I'm remote right now, and they want an office down here because some of the owners, and this is a really big company, y'all. If y'all know, you know. Some of the owners live right down the road from me. They don't have any work down here. And I'm supposed to be working into a leadership role to help build this area. And I really don't want to pass that up. But personally, I feel like they're dragging their feet. So I don't know. But yeah. Let's look at this. Let me share my screen here. Can you see that HVAC? Is that what you were talking about? Well, let's look here. So we've got a common from here going over here. What was this on? Dude, I don't think I've ever seen one of these in the field. Hold on. We'll dive into this real quick. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Is it on here? Yeah, right here. High side opens, line to M1 and line to M2 on pressure rise. Low side opens, line to M1, line to M2 on pressure drop. L3 is third supply line in three-phase applications. Low side switch opens 1 to 2 and then closes 1 to 3 on pressure drop. High side switch opens 1 to 2 and then closes 1 to 3 on pressure rise. Is this for all of them? Yeah, was it using fan cycle and pump down? Yeah. Froggy, I think you're onto something. How have I never seen one of these? I mean, I've probably seen them on the shelf at United, picked them up and looked at them and put them back in the box. This redneck stuff we work on around here, they put too many wires in it and people can't figure it out. So we don't normally have like 2-wire pressure controls. Go to the Johnson Controls docs page and you can get this whole thing. There's what you need. Hey, maybe that's a video I can make. Was it a coworker that snitched on me? Nope. Nope. I'm tight with all my coworkers. They love my videos. They learn from them. No, I don't think it was a subscriber. I know who it was. Pretty sure. Dave, if you really want to know, send me an email at hillbillyrefrigeration@gmail.com. I'll tell you exactly the whole story. I ain't going to air it out over the internet because he's probably on here, honestly. He's probably going to run back and tell him I'm talking. Even though I ain't mentioned no names, I ain't said no company names, you know. You want to play like that, go ahead. I can go work for somebody else. It was, but I don't know. Maybe it still is. HVAC. So on these pressure controls, you just got two sides to this switch, it looks like, and you can have a normally open, normally closed on both of them. If I'm looking at this right. Hillbilly refrigeration at gmail.com. HILLBILLYREFRI refrigeration REFRIDGERATION at gmail.com. And the bad thing about this is I was told by the person that got me the job at this company that I had to watch for one particular person because they were out to throw anybody under the bus they could. I was warned. Just never thought it would be this way. Let me go check my Shmemail. Good Lord. I think I'm in the right email. Shoot, no. Hold on, Dave. I got a bunch of emails. There we go. That should be it. Look, all these people wanting to do brand deals with me that I can't do anything with. I don't see an email. HILLBILLYREFRIGERATION. I probably misspelled refrigeration earlier. I am just a dumb hillbilly, like my wife said. Yeah, there's no D in refrigeration. I probably said like a refrigerator. No, I don't see it, man. Let me put it in the chat. I can do that. Oh, here's something else. Hey, there you go. I bought the rights to hillbillyrefrigeration.com. Sure did. And I was working on building a website. You got to leave that D out. Refrigeration. What, babe? I got it now. Just sent you one back. So my wife's saying I should keep my YouTube channel. Change my name back. HVAC, good to talk to you, man. Download that document. I don't know if I can grab one of those. Or I might do a whiteboard demonstration. I'll make you a video. Yeah, man, take it easy. Don't work too hard. It's about to start getting cold up in Canada, eh? Stay warm. Froggy, you can't spell that. Chauffeur. Chauffeur. You know the high school I went to, because the electives, like the extra classes that you could do, we had vocational and they had HVAC. But because my last name, the letter's so far into the alphabet, I never got to do the HVAC class in high school. It was already full before I got to it. Let me refresh this thing. I don't know what it is. I wish I did know his channel. I have no clue. Dave, am I even subscribed to you? Let me pull you up. Oh, I am subscribed to you. I didn't even realize that was you, dude. I've been watching your videos for a while. Yeah, you came up in my feed one day. Actually, I think the video that came up in my feed was your video talking about the HVAC salary. Yep. I watched that video. I just went over to your channel and it's red all the way at the bottom because I've watched it. I didn't know that was you. Cool, man. Heck yeah. I sub to everybody I like. I watched some of your other videos too. What was that one? Look here, HVAC, no AC calls and quoting. Daikin mini split. Toxic mold. I watched that one. I may have to. Let me change my name back to Hillbilly Refrigeration if somebody hasn't stolen it. Let's here's old Dave. You had some shorts that did pretty good. Like this one, duct cleaning. 72,000 views. Just type in Dave Vid. Everybody go subscribe to Dave Vid.
What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to talk about how much HVAC technicians actually make in my region and my journey to this current salary. My HVAC journey started 16 or 17 years ago, give or take. I'm 35 years old now. I've been doing commercial industrial work since 2012, give or take. So I've been in the field for quite some time. I started with my parents' neighbor. He was a subcontractor, residential. And what we used to do was we would slap in new air conditioners on brand new builds. So it was tough work. A lot of the land was not graded. The houses were unfinished. We would put ACs in the middle of the freezing cold winter. It could be the piping hot summer. It didn't matter. They had to go in, and it was more of a piecework job. I was getting paid hourly, but I believe he was getting piecework at the time. So if you guys don't understand piecework, what that means is you get paid per job and you get a flat rate for that. It doesn't matter.
Is that something you guys call it, piecework? Huh.
How fast or slow you go, you're going to get paid the same. Most people will rush their way through them. I mean, the more you can produce in a day is the more money you'll make. So if you put one AC in at $400 an AC for a day, you're going to make $400. If you can do, 4, you'll make $1,600. But at that time, I was getting paid essentially just over minimum wage. Like, I think it was like $2 or $3 over at the time. Minimum wage was $7.25, I think, back then.
Are you in a Transit? Is that what this is a Ford Transit?
But I was getting about $10 an hour. And was it worth $10 an hour?
No.
At that current state and time? Yeah, it was. It was worth $10 an hour because I knew absolutely nothing. I essentially had a process that I dealt with every single day because all these homes were cookie cutters. I would mount my wall brackets.
Me and you started
put my AC on, help sling the pipe through the basement, out to the unit. I wasn't allowed to braze at that point in time. And everything was just a pattern. So I could tell you guys a funny story. There was one time a run capacitor wire had accidentally come off on the back of the unit. We went to start it up. No freaking idea why it wouldn't come on. And I could tell you why, because I knew nothing about wiring diagrams. I knew nothing about service. I just knew how to put air conditioners in place. So fast forward a couple of years, I kind of got sick of doing that. I mean, yes, I learned how to install AC units. Brutally difficult work, you know, slaving away every single day, but I couldn't really do it anymore. I had to progress, get into the service side or do something different. I ended up going to a little privately owned college called Highmark. Some of you may have heard of it. It's a fast track G3, G2 program. So that's your gas ticket 3 and gas ticket 2. Went through that process. I think it took me 6 months, and it was kind of cool actually, because you know, you would learn new things there, and you could also do co-op or work every other week. So I would go to school for.
I'm gonna pause this real quick because something else that my company brought up was me recording while I was driving. Now, I was on a mount and was not touching the phone. It was just me talking, but they made a big deal about that. I'm like, bro, I wasn't even looking at the camera. I was just talking. Like, we talk on the phone. We touch our GPS to put in addresses or, you know, while we're driving down the road. They made a big deal about that.
For 1 week, and then I would work 1 week. So you could make a bit of money while you were doing your college. After I graduated that, I applied for a job in our local union, which is the 787.
UA, baby.
And I got signed on as a junior maintenance mechanic. So the salary for that was almost double, technically, what I was making before. Keep in mind, though, this is fast forwarding, you know, 2-3 years later. So early 2011, 2012, in that range. And I was making, I still remember this number. It's funny because the journeyman used to make fun of me, but 1602. A friend of mine, Bob, a really experienced journey person, used to call me Davy Boy 1602. But so yeah, that's where we started out in the journey I am leading up to now. So now I'm going to talk about your first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and your journey person salaries with the current union I'm with, the 787, right now. I'm going to input every single year salary right now on the screen, and we're going to talk about each one. So with your first year, you're going to be making $24.75 an hour. What's expected of you as a first-year apprentice? I would say absolutely nothing. You're essentially there to be yes, sir, no, sir, get me this, get me that, drive here, drive there, take my garbage away. And during that time process, you will learn too. Some of the nicer guys will probably take you on and maybe bring you along for a service call. You'll help out with installs, but essentially what you're going to be doing is what I did when I first started. You're just a labor boy and trying to pick up any little tips and tricks along the way. By the time you hit second year, you'll probably have accumulated some installation skills throughout first year. You'll probably have a good work ethic, hopefully, because the guys are going to be working you to the bone. But you'll be a little bit more independent. I mean, you'll start to understand basic electricity. You'll probably understand the refrigeration system a bit. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but part of our requirements through the union I'm in is night school. So you have to go to night school years 1 through 4.
2 nights a week?
It's 1 night a week for, I want to say 6 months of the year, maybe 7. But that gives you knowledge too. And second year, you'll be more independent, but you'll still be needing a babysitter, I guess would be the nice way to say it. By the time you hit third year, you'll more than likely have already went to basic, which is a 2 or 3 month program. I can't remember. It's been so long since I went, but it's everyday school, including your night school too. So you have to go night school and then you'll be going through day school for 2 to 3 months at a time. At this point, you'll probably be expected to go on call. You will have a general knowledge of all air conditioning systems and some heating equipment too, the basics anyways. And you'll be more independent. You could be out on your own. You could probably do small to medium-sized service calls. You can start to lead small installation jobs to your company. You'll definitely be doing maintenance too at this point. And yeah, third year is kind of where you start to feel more comfortable, feel like you have the hang of things, and you become more reliable. Getting the fourth year now, you'll be making $45.77 an hour, which is a pretty good salary. You're kind of in that middle zone. Like you might be going to intermediate, or well, you should be at this point, which is your second group of training sessions. And that also is 2 to 3 months long. So by that,
I'm getting to the good part. Why are you embarrassed? You're actually a handsome dude. You speak well. You're fine, man. Have you seen some of these people on YouTube? Look at me. Shoot, you good, bro?
Point, you'll definitely be expected to be on call. Like that's a must. You'll be doing service calls on your own.
No homo.
You will probably be leading construction jobs of various sizes, depending on your skill ability.
I bet they
maintenances are just expected, and yeah, you kind of are starting to fit in with everyone and getting with the real groove of how your career is going to go. And now for the final 2 terms. So your 5th year and your fully licensed pay. So 5th year is $52.94, just shy of $53 an hour, and full pay right now that I get is $62.40 an hour. So the difference in pay jumps there will not represent your skill gap between 5th year and your license point, which is just 365 days, guys. You will pick up a little bit more knowledge when you go to your advanced program. 5th year might be the most stressful point in your entire apprenticeship career, because you're going to have to write your CFQ, which is essentially what you've been going to school for all those years, those past 4 years, 5 years. That license.
You sure you don't have a mild form of camera Tourette's? I'm just teasing.
Since there is a 313A, it's a 125 question exam. I believe you're given 4 hours to write it. And once you pass that, hey, voila, you got your 313A and your license just like me. So during your time as a 5th year, you're going to be expected to be on call no matter what. You're going to be leading all kinds of construction jobs. You'll be training the new apprentices at that point, because by the time you're 5th year, let's face it, you're too expensive to be doing, run here, run there, grab this, grab that. You should know what you're doing. You really should. And when you get your license after that, hopefully you get it. You get 3 tries, by the way, guys. So you can fail twice, just not 3 times, because then I think you have to restart your apprenticeship program, but you wouldn't want to go there. So study for your exam. But when you get your ticket, it's a great pay jump. Everything that you were doing 5th year, nothing's going to change when you get your license, even though the company you work for might expect you to be a god by that point.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing's going to change. The only thing that will improve your skills are, working with other more experienced people, which you might lose the privilege to when you get your license, because you're going to be super independent. That's one thing about this job. I'm always working by myself. So I've learned from my mistakes in the past, and I've learned from other people's mistakes and their successes. In my opinion, the only unfair part about a union company or a union contractor, unions in general, are if your skill set is 10 times better than someone else that also wrote their exam, you are not going to make any more money. If you work 5 times harder, you're not going to make any more money. The only benefit to that is you'll be able to extend your career lifelong. So the more skills that you have won't represent a better pay, but you'll always be needed for work, and you can always move around wherever your future may bring you. So that's a general breakdown of my salary and what you can expect to make as a unionized commercial industrial HVAC technician in the city of Toronto, guys. So if this was interesting to you, or you're interested in getting into this field, leave a comment below, like and subscribe, and check back for next time when I got more HVAC content.
Heck yeah, Dave. I like your video. I'm bad about not liking videos. 343 comments. Look at that. Almost 800 likes. Good for you, bro. So let me pull up my union. So I'll be flat out honest with you, Dave. I don't make as much money as you guys, but my cost of living here is cheap. So here's the 102. This is the UA I'm out of, the local that I'm out of. I don't think they got scale or anything on here. And we just built a brand new training hall. Huge. This one's been active for over 100 years. Oh, and our insurance, man, like my benefits package, they pay 16 and some change every hour I work for benefits package. So that's awesome. They pay like $5 an hour towards 401k, $5 an hour towards a pension, and then we get an annuity every year. And I wasn't union for a long time. I really wish I'd have went union years ago. I was stupid not to. I always heard bad stuff about the union because normally greedy people, honestly. Yeah, anybody in my area, get a hold of Jeremiah Love. Go ahead and get unionized. So I think our journeyman base is like 36 an hour, but I get paid way above scale. So it's up to the company ultimately what they want to pay you. You know, for a good technician, there's no reason you shouldn't make mid 40s to up to like mid 50s thereabouts. There's one guy that works for us who came from California, and you don't go backwards in the union. Kind of thinking I should move to California and then move back. But I'm on track to make about 150 this year, something like that. So good money. Good money. Good talk, Dave. Maybe I'll make a salary video. Yeah, to Froggy's comment, they will definitely pay way above scale if you know what you're doing. And in the union, as long as you just do a good job and you know, do right by your company and delete all your YouTube videos, you'll be all right. Froggy, are you not making content, man? I feel like all these guys should be making content. Yeah, it is a little tough, especially when you don't know what you're doing. I've watched tons of YouTube, but creating content is a whole different ball game. There's a lot to learn. Like, I commend the guys that outside of what we do, but some of these content creators that make content for a living, they do a really good job. Like, it's hard work. It really is. Especially when you're just learning, like editing. Like that one video that was like 1 hour and 20 minutes long that I had to edit down. Whew. That was a task. I was in here for like 3 hours. Dude, we should go live sometime. We should get me, you, and a few of these other guys and do a big live. For sure. You got my email, man. If you want, send me your phone number. We'll text. Oh, Dave, how's your boy Justin doing? Yeah, we'll do it, man, for sure. How's your boy Justin doing? Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen old Trudeau in the media lately. Yeah, man. Send me your phone number. We'll link up. Play a Monopoly. Babe, get the Monopoly out. Might have to go play some Monopoly. I love Monopoly. Take it easy, Dave. Did you get up with Mark in Texas at all? Katy Perry. Hey, you too, brother. We'll see you. I know one of the last lives that Market Supermarket Refrigeration did, y'all were talking about maybe trying to meet up or something. Well, so I got a buddy that goes to Texas every year to visit his uncle. He's got a ranch down there. He'll be sending me videos of these roads. It's just like nothing on them. Nothing. For miles and miles and miles. Like, you better know where to get gas. I dropped my email in the chat. Any of you guys want to link up, chat about something? You need some help? Send me an email. We'll exchange phone numbers. Help you guys any way I can. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. Aiden, send me an email, bro. This YouTube thing I don't know. I'll try to figure something out. If not, I'll start making music again. Y'all take it easy. Appreciate you hanging out. We'll see y'all later.